Hi, I'm here with Brenda Rizzo, Paralegal, and she's here to answer some questions regarding landlords and tenants that you may have. What rights do tenants have that landlords don't realize?
The rights that the tenants have is the security of tenure. What this means is when the tenant legally moves into the unit, they cannot be forced to move out. The only way they will be able to move out if is the tenant is in agreement and voluntarily leaves the property, or if the landlord gets an order from the landlord and tenant board evicting the tenant. Another right that the tenants have is that they cannot have those illegal increases that we were talking previously. So the rent will stay and be maintained for the 1 year, and every year they will be required to pay an increase only in terms of the guidelines, the Ontario guidelines. Another thing is having pets. Tenants are allowed to have pets. There's nothing in the legislation that states that the rental unit cannot have any pets. So that's something for landlords to get educated about, because sometimes I see the landlords tend to draft disagreements with clauses that are not in accordance with the legislation. So if it doesn't, if it's not in the legislation, it will not apply. So be very careful with what landlords tend to ask the tenants to do when it comes to the lease agreement.
If a tenant stops paying rent, what is the first step a landlord should take, and what should they avoid?
The first step the landlord should be taking is serving the proper notice to start the eviction for non-payment of rent. After they serve the notice, they should file the application with the landlord and tenant board. And then they will schedule a hearing to see whether termination is going to be granted based on the tenant not being able to pay their rent. Things that they should stop doing and they should avoid doing, the landlord, is disconnecting any services. So sometimes landlords feel the need of disconnecting some vital services like the utilities, the heat, electricity, thinking, well, the tenant's not paying, I'm going to disconnect some service for them to move out. That is something that they should definitely avoid doing. The consequences of that could be for the landlords to be liable to pay compensation, and they're risking getting fined as well. Another thing that the landlord should avoid doing is changing the locks. That is illegal. You never change the locks to a unit without the LTV giving you an order to change the locks. So those are things to keep in mind.
When should someone call you, a paralegal, instead of trying to handle a landlord-tenant issue on their own?
You should call us right away when you know that there's a problem between the tenant and the landlord. That's when you should start calling us right away. We are here to help you fill out forms, file the proper application, and also to guide you through the process. So don't wait for the last minute. Don't let for the problem to escalate. Give us a call, because we are here to help you and assist you with the process.